Launching Mobius from the desktop icon or the Start menu opens a blank main window. Next, call the template workflow file named as NoiseCheck from the top menu bar. The NoiseCheck workflow has just been called. In Mobius, the functional unit is a panel called as module. A workflow consists of multiple modules. Available modules depend on the Mobius package purchased, and this video will be based on the EP package. In NoiseCheck workflow, 3 modules are hierarchically connected, and each panel is arranged on different tabs. The workflow is executed by control buttons in the upper left corner of the window. Initially, click on Play and sweep data without file generation to check the status. The calibration process is always performed at the first execution of the workflow. Switch to the tab named as 64 Chains Display, where the Display All Channels module is arranged. To stop the data sweep, click Stop instead of Pause. The Pause is for pausing the data acquisition in an interval between traces when acquiring data composed of multiple traces. Multiple workflow files can be kept open at the same time. However, only one of them can be executed for data acquisition. Call NoiseCheck workflow again as saw before. Here, save it into the Test folder created on the desktop in advance under a different name. We named it Test as well. Check the Enable Storage box and click Play to execute the workflow. Stop the workflow and check inside the folder. Nothing is generated. On the other hand, in case that click Play and Record to execute the workflow and then stop it. 3 files have generated inside the folder. Each file is automatically named based on the time play and record clicked. The file with the extension MODAT and the largest size is data file. Change the trace time from the default value and try again. Three files have been generated again. The workflow with Analysis 1 in the end of the name is the copy of the workflow used for data acquisition. But the Acquire MED64R2 data is replaced with the Replay Raw data file. This workflow is generated to allow for replaying data immediately. The workflow with acquisition in the end of the name is the copy of the workflow used for data acquisition, with changes added before clicking play and record also saved. As you saw, files are exported into the folder where the workflow used for data acquisition exists, called the working directory. You can change the output destination into a different folder from the top menu without saving the workflow as another file. Here, it has changed into the desktop. To control stimulation, a workflow starting from acquire MED64R2 data with STIM module is required. Next, let's see how to set up a stimulation by using a template named as single pulse recording. In this workflow, 7 modules are hierarchically connected and arranged on 2 tabs. Under the default settings specified in the acquire MED64R2 data with STIM, data acquisition and stimulus timings are shown in the figure. This will be slightly modified immediately after to like this for explanation. Click play to see what happens. Data acquired has just plotted on its 64-channel chart. Expand the Y scale to 10 microamperes per div. The channel 10 to which the stimulus is delivered is muted. The instantaneous data processing at the acquire MED64R2 data with STIM leads to it at the display all channels. So, the change would be seen 2 traces later. The stimulus intensity can be changed by directly editing the pulse value and then press enter in the table. The stimulus length within a trace must be set shorter than the trace duration. Otherwise, the error message window will appear. In MEA experiments, biphasic pulse current is used for electrical stimulation. If monophasic pulse current is used, charge stored onto an electrode takes time to release. This process appears as an artifact on the data chart. Checking this box will automatically set the reverse phase pulse for another stimulator setting. This is a useful feature for a case of pacing at two adjacent electrodes in an experiment with cardiomyocytes. Next, another useful feature for making pulse patterns will be presented using the theta burst workflow. The theta burst stimulation is a specific pulse pattern to induce LTP, and consists of 4 train pulses at 10 milliseconds intervals, repeated 10 times at 200 milliseconds intervals. The reps literally repeats the composed pattern a specified number of times. Again, the total, or all reps duration, must be shorter than the specified trace duration. Finally, the auto ink used in I/O curve workflow will be presented. It cumulatively increases the pulse's amplitude by the value specified in the left box as the trace advances. The default value is 5 microamperes, and the maximum pulse intensity is 100 microamperes. So, the intensity saturates at the 19th trace with this setting. The number in the left box has another role. We have called the theta burst workflow, and will edit a pulse amplitude. Only one pulse can be modified by directly editing in the table as C. All pulse amplitudes in the table can be increased or decreased by a specified value in the left box by clicking the plus or minus buttons. Mobius will always ask if you overwrite the workflow just before closing it. If it is a template, it is recommended to click No and exit the Mobius.